Tara Lynn with 5 Acres Honey Farm. It's been a while since I posted a video. We've had some sad things go on, and we had a death in our family, and it's been really challenging getting back into things because there's a lot of stuff demanding our attention right now. I feel really bad because usually July is the time for heavily feeding the hives because the dearth has started, and I didn't really have the time to feed them as much as I wanted to. I was happy to see though that I only managed to do about 2 hive inspections in July, that the hives are doing really well, and there are some that really need to be fed. So those are my priority when I'm making syrup. And I'm trying something new after doing some reading around. I'm reading a book on biodynamic beekeeping, and I've learned about BT, not the initials BT like that you would use in the garden in organic gardening, but actually like B, B-E-E, T, T-E-A. So it's using, brewing tea just like you would for yourself, using herbs and kind of that medicinal properties of the herbs, and putting that into the syrup that you're feeding to your hives. And I figured that sounds like it has at least got to have some more nutrition and some more value than just sugar syrup. So I'm going to try it out and see. And I've got tea brewing right now for myself, so you're going to hear the kettle in a second. But I'm also mixing together the bee tea, and I'll show you a little bit about how I put that together. One of the things that makes me hesitate to start using bee tea is that, or incorporating it into the syrup, is that I'm having a really good year with my hives in relation to Varroa. I consistently have had 0 mite counts on the colonies, so that's why I'm hesitating to do anything different, because I wonder if what I'm doing is allowing that to take place and to have that better management of Varroa. But at the same time, I feel like an herbal tea mixed in with their syrup isn't going to hurt. So I'm going to try it out anyway, and I think this is a really good time of year during the dearth to try that. I can totally see at other times of the year maybe it's not necessary because they have maybe a really strong pollen source and like other diverse nectar sources, but at this time here in the North Carolina Piedmont, first week of August, there's really very little nectar producing plants available that are really gonna substantially feed the colonies, which I have 6 colonies right now. So then if you're thinking of these 6 colonies, various sizes, from 2 mediums up to 4 mediums tall, they're all competing with each other. So that's a lot of different mouths to feed, and a lot of larvae being laid every day. If you're thinking of 6 queens with 1,000 to 2,000 eggs per day between all the colonies within the a few mile radius from here, that's a lot of competition. So feeding and supplementing with some syrup is really helpful, and I'll show you a little bit about the syrup and the plants that I chose and why, and then we'll feed the bees. I just chopped up all of the herbs, and I just have a bowl that I'm going to steep it in, and I'll let this sit just for a few hours because it's just the afternoon now and it'll have time to cool down. So in the evening I'll make the syrup and I'll use this tea as a base, and I'm going to actually cover this bowl with a plate, and that will help keep the essential oils inside for now. Okay, so I just use regular pure cane sugar in the syrup, and I mentioned in many videos I'm in the Certified Naturally Grown program, so that's why I don't use any other variety of sugar. This is what's allowed. This is the bee tea that I made. When I just shared about making the bee tea, I was planning on making it in the same day, but yesterday got really busy. So after it infused for several hours before I went to bed, I put it in this jar and put it in the fridge, and so that will hopefully preserve the quality of the tea. And I've been just stirring some syrup in here into a little over a quart. I think it was like 1.5 quarts of water. And because I have the bee tea to add to this, I wanted to get this sugar incorporated into the warmer water before adding the BT, because I didn't want to you know, pour that BT into like boiling hot water and like destroy any of the good properties that have seeped in through the plants. So this is still fairly warm. You know, it's not too hot, and I just want to see this sugar get incorporated into the syrup first before I add the BT in, and then give it a good mix, and then it'll be ready to be fed to the hives. And one of the things that makes me really nervous in the summer making syrup is that I am like really careful about pouring the sugar in here, because it seems the last 2 summers, I don't have like an ant problem per se, but there are scout ants out at all hours of the day. So I am like super careful, and then after I'm done getting this mixed, I spray down the counters with white vinegar just to deter any ants from coming and maybe pick up any random pieces of sugar that got out here. So so what I really like about this setup so far, I mean, this is the first time I'm putting BT together, is that it's letting me kind of do it over multiple days. So if I don't have time to make syrup one day, I could easily, you know, as I'm making my own tea, I could set up a batch for them to brew, and I could infuse this overnight. You know, I don't even have to use you know, a standard kettle. I could set this out as sun tea and just set a jar of herbs out in the sun to steep. So like, see, some of the little granules get stuck at the bottom here. So it's just about ready, I feel like, to add the BT. I'm probably gonna need, yeah, I'll need 2 hands, so one second. So I've got that lid off here, and I will just pour this delicious tea in. It smells really good. So the nice thing about making syrup in these pots, which I've had these pots for 14 years now, so great, they're Martha Stewart pots, is that it has the little indicator here how many quarts. So I typically use this pot because it makes 3 quarts, and it's really nice because then I just give 1/3 of a jar to, because I've got a big container that holds all of this, I give 1/3 of the container to, you know, each hive, and I'll feed like half the hives. And right now I'm only feeding 3. I really should be feeding 4, so I'm hoping I'll have some time tomorrow to get a feeder on another one. But this looks really nice, and it smells really good. Got all those different aromas coming through, and it's actually cool enough where I wasn't planning on feeding the bees tonight, but I think I might jump out there and give them this treat. And I'll make a new batch tomorrow. So let's run out there and feed them. This is the container I use for bee syrup. It's just, you know, a water container, and it fits exactly 3 quarts, which is perfect. So then I just eyeball about 1/3, and I give 1 quart to each hive that needs it. So let's head out there. It is exactly sunset right now, so it's going to be pretty dusky. It might be hard to see, but I'll show you around. This is my smallest hive. This was the swarm I caught over the summer. I'm just getting the tea opened up here. And I realized I forgot to share what kinds of herbs I used. So I used thyme, lemongrass, lemon balm, lavender, and yarrow in the batch, and also peppermint. All of them are, you know, pretty much used in like Honeybee Healthy and, you know, other supplements like that. And wanted them to have a variety of different herbs. Oh, and also chamomile too. I just love the way this looks in the evening. And it sounds so nice. I've got a few more to go. All right, here's hive number 2. I'm just gonna eyeball 1 quart for these girls, and you can hear how excited they are. Yep, that looks good. Third and final hive. I'm curious now to see in the coming weeks how the inspections look, and I'll keep you posted. And if you have a BT recipe that you like to use, I'm curious what herbs you like to add in there, and I'm sure as the season progresses I'll use whatever's seasonally available. And hope that you enjoyed this, and please comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and happy hive inspections.